Alrighty, we're getting ready to start game one of the World Series. Let's look at this Runners team. I don't think we matched up against them all season, so they do have some notable players, and Happy Swingins on the mound against Kenny Kawaguchi. We're going to have the two aces lining up. They do have one of their better notable players not performing right now, but with that being said, I did look into it, and Jocinda Smith has one hit so far in the series. Mikey Thomas still held without a hit, so it should be interesting. Moving into game one against the Runners, we're going to go ahead and we're going to make a little bit of a swap. So we talked about this earlier, and we're going to swap. Jocinda Smith's going to play third. Ahmed Khan is going to play first. And now Mikey Thomas is going to be subbed out, and Pete Wheeler is going to find himself back in the lineup. And they're going to go ahead and do a little bit of shifting here. So now this is going to be the lineup here for game number one of the World Series. Dante Robinson going to bat leadoff with Pete Wheeler getting an opportunity after coming up huge last series. And Jocinda Smith bumped down to the 5 spot. We will see if the Melonheads can come through here in game number one of the World Series. This is a huge moment for the Melonheads as they just got introduced as the new team in the historic league. And they are coming through and trying to win their first World Series. So surprisingly, the Runners have just as many hitters struggling as playing well. That is very interesting given the fact that they swept their series. But the Melonheads have quite a few hitters hitting well. And here we go. Game one has begun with a ball in the outside corner. Dante Robinson batting leadoff as he has most of the season. And so far, it's a 2-1 count. He's really taking his pitches, getting an opportunity to see him. That ball is hit into left center field. Dante Robinson amped up and is going to get this game started with a bang. He is going into third, leading off the game with a triple in game one of the World Series here. Dante Robinson triples. Here is Pete Wheeler, who came up big last series with his pinch hit. That's a strike on the top of the strike zone. Pete Wheeler drives this into the outfield and comes up big again. Pete Wheeler puts the Melonheads up on top 1-0. And now Pete Wheeler has the same side of his game that Dante does, where he can swipe bags, and he does exactly that. And it is dangerous having those two at the top of your lineup both hitting. Pablo Sanchez drills this ball to the second baseman for out number one. Here is Keisha Phillips now. Runner on second, one out. This ball is drilled to the shortstop. It will advance the runner, but Keisha Phillips is going to be out number two. The Runners, best team in the regular season at 16-4. The Melonheads, second best team at 14-6. And they match up here in the World Series, the league championship. And it's up to Jocinda Smith here, who hit well all season, but has struggled in the playoffs with just one hit. And she can't come through here, but Pete Wheeler has, which is very interesting. Jocinda Smith has struggled in the playoffs, and Pete Wheeler has not. But Jocinda Smith got an opportunity to play because Pete Wheeler struggled so much. Out number one, and the Runners start off their game slightly different than the Melonheads did. Kenny Kawaguchi has been the ace of this team all season, although has been one of their worst pitchers. A very disappointing season for Kawaguchi. That's going to be a single now with a one out for the Runners. So now let's see if the Runners have an answer here with their number 3 hitter, B.B. Rubenstein. He's going to foul this ball off. Can Kawaguchi come through and give his team an opportunity here in game number one? He's going to try and flip it quickly back to first base. No. Slides back in. Here is Edvard Rocket. Edvard. And Edvard gets a hold of the ball. That's an interesting name with a V. Edvard. That's going to be drilled up the middle. They're going to... No, they won't. I thought they were going to test Dante, but they don't. So 2-out hit there for the Runners. First and second, 2 outs. They're down 1-0. This ball is hit to deep left center field. Dante giving chase. He has got it. Out number 3, and the Melonheads get out of it and are back on offense. as they have a 1-0 lead here against the runners. That ball is low. A good check swing on Ahmed Khan. Ahmed Khan has really hit the ball hard, but this one's right at the second baseman, 1 out. Talking about hitting the ball hard, Tony Del Vecchio arguably has been the best player in the playoffs so far. He drills this ball into right field for a single. Just as we said, the best hitter so far in the playoffs, and he does exactly that. Here's Stephanie Morgan. Now with 1 out, Stephanie Morgan is going to get way under this pitch and shoot it to center field. And the runner's going to have to scurry back to first base for 2 outs now. That should bring up the pitcher now, Kenny Kawaguchi, with 2 outs. Kawaguchi going to hit a little nubber to the shortstop. Going to throw it over to first base, out number 3. Still 1-0 Melonheads going into the bottom of the second inning. Kenny Kawaguchi going to try and hold this lead. They really need a big performance out of him until they can score more runs. The fastball high, dude, swinging. Big punch out for Kenny Kawaguchi. First out, big swing at the slider. Strike number 1. Ooh, that looked close. Umpire says no. Foul ball. But here comes that curveball. Swinging. 2 outs for Kenny Kawaguchi. Little ground ball over to third. Jocinda has not played third base all season, but does get out number 3. Here come the Melonheads. All right, Dante Robinson going to get the game started here. The inning started, top of the third, 1-0. Dante and Pete Wheeler have gone to lead this team to their first run. Dante, I thought he was going to go shopping at the gap again, but does not. Pete Wheeler has played well so far in the playoffs. That ball is just foul. That could have been big trouble. Pete Wheeler drills this ball down the line. It's going to hit off the glove and roll away. Pete Wheeler has come through again here. He is batting 1,000 in the playoffs. Pete Wheeler, who would have thought would be the playoff hero so far? Pablo Sanchez is going to hit it into right. They're going to send Pete Wheeler. It's going to be a play at the plate. Out at the plate! Pete Wheeler just barely out at the plate. You got to like the aggressiveness, but you kind of wonder. Keisha Phillips flies out for out number 3. Unfortunate there. But here is Happy Swingins, the pitcher. I really like the way their jerseys and colors look there. Those are clean. That is a good-looking person at the dish. That is just a solid avatar player. You like it. Out number 1, though. I don't really understand the runner's team name, but it's all right. 2 outs as Kenny Kawaguchi has pitched 2 2/3, 3 strong innings against the runners here with his 1-0 lead. 2 strikes. Here's the high heat. Ooh, just gets a piece. That curveball's been nasty all day. He's going to hit it out of the dirt. Moving over is Tony Del Vecchio, out number 3. The runners don't have an answer for Kawaguchi. Batting 111 is Jocinda Smith, who's thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. She's going to hit a fly ball to the second baseman. All right, Jocinda has still struggled in the playoffs. Here's Ahmed Khan, batting 500. Ahmed Khan has hit the ball hard in the playoffs, and there's one of those. So hard the third baseman couldn't do anything about it. That's going to be a 1-out single for Ahmed Khan. His mojo is pumping over there. Here's Tony Del Vecchio. Playing very, very, very well. That inside pitch hangs. That ball is outside 2-0. Tony Del Vecchio has hit well. That ball not so much, though, as that looks like an easy double play ball, and it will be. Bottom of the 4th now for the runners. Here, Kenny Kawaguchi looking to continue to pitch very strongly against this runners team. The runners were the best team in the league. Uh-oh. This is not good. Anytime this has happened, it has been bad news for the Melonheads. Keisha Phillips comes on strong and can't make a play. And unfortunately, it is a nobody out double for the runners. This ball is past. It gets past Pete Wheeler. And now what? Long neck, Mr. Eldo. They have never needed a strikeout out of Kawaguchi so bad as they do right now. And they're not going to get it. This ball is going to be up the middle. It's going to be a tie ball game. Nobody out. Kawaguchi just cannot do anything about it. And they're going to bring in Ashley Weber.
Number 38.
Ashley going to try and pitch here. The little sacrifice bunt with nobody out is perfect. You hate to see it.
Number 10, the third baseman.
You hate to see it. They are going to just throw the pitch outs. And they're going to intentionally walk the hitter to load the bases now and make a play at the plate. One out, and they cannot give up a run. They need to hold on to this tie ball game. This ball is going to be past the diving Pete Wheeler. The runners are going to have the lead. Is it going to be 1 or 2? It's only going to be 1, though. It is 2-1 runners. Happy Swingins is getting Bottomsley Marshall. And they're going to pinch hit wow, they're going to bring in a new pitcher. Now it's going to be the other Weber sister. With 1 out, the Melonheads are just looking for an answer. They're looking to get out of this. Whatever it takes. The high heat, nothing. Man, this is a lot of pressure here on the Melonheads. The first time in the playoffs they've really had any kind of pressure. Stephanie Morgan back for the pop-up. There it is, out number 2 now. So the Melonheads have an opportunity to get out of it, only giving up the 2 runs. Let's see if they can do just that. They're not out of the woods yet, though. Good play by Pete Wheeler as it hits off the mound. Out number 3, and Russell Flail, the closing pitcher. Look at those stats. He throws hard. He plays well. Stephanie Morgan, I would assume a pinch hitter, and then the top of the lineup. Stephanie Morgan has been clutch this season. Stephanie's going to line out to the shortstop. They're down 2-1 here in game number 1. And they're going to bring in Reese Worthington. They haven't had much success out of their bench players this season. But Reese is going to take an opportunity here and foul this ball off, though. Reese, another foul ball. At least he's getting his money's worth. Swing and a miss is Reese Worthington. He goes down swinging, and now the Melonheads are down to their final out here in game number 1. Dante Robinson, though, is going to drill this ball up the middle. This is risky business. Do you send Dante Robinson? Locked in is Pete Wheeler already. Do you send him? They're going to try. We're going to try and send him. He has stolen so many bases this season. None bigger than this one. He represents the tying run. And Pete Wheeler is going to finally not get a hit as he is out number 3. And the Melonheads lose game number 1, 2-1. The runners, who are the best team in the league, shut down the Melonheads after the first inning. And the Melonheads find themselves have a rocky inning. And now they are down 1-0 in this series to the runners. Game number 2 coming up. Like, subscribe, make sure those notifications are on so you can get all the updates on the World Series. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you next time.